that. It's weird stuff eats 25% of our salary, like weird, stupid stuff that they don't have here. And
But you haven't really been
I go
posting
live,
content
like,
though. I haven't seen like you've been reposting a lot of old stuff. I haven't seen a lot of. You barely posted any new content.
yeah, the wedding's in 2 days, so I'm still not posting.
But you said that you're gonna stop streaming. Is that true, or are you just trying to give scarcity?
Yeah, I think vlogging's better for me. Like, let's say I do something stupid on camera and I get arrested because after the brother's wedding, I can be myself. Then I'm in trouble. But if I like give it to my team and they say, let's edit out this part, let's, you know what I mean? I'm more safe. I'm more guarded. Like, look at how many guys got banned off YouTube. What was that about?
Well, Lauren Chen, who are you talking about?
Yeah, are they like spies? Why'd they get banned?
Because they're anti and they just made up some stuff about collusion to get them off YouTube. If they're going to say that they have allegiance to a foreign nation, then they'd be consistent and ban everybody on Israel's payroll too. But they just got Lauren Chen because she started to wake up and say that Israel's not our biggest ally. Who cares? She got a little money from Russia.
Why are you choosing to stay in Miami? Like, what do you get?
Well, I'm not here for forever. I might come back to Europe soon, but I had some time off. I had a week, and I've been going nonstop. Spent a lot of money. People in the chat are saying traveling. Myron says traveling is too because like he's like, oh, your gym. He just talks about the gym routine and how you can't really. It's just I think it's stupid. I think you should build memories and you should have experiences and see different cultures. He's like, that's what Miami hoes say. But his experience is like pretty limited to Miami hoes. That's why he thinks traveling is for Miami hoes. Traveling is extremely beneficial. I think everybody should do it.
Well, even Myron one day is going to choose to set up his location somewhere other than Miami, I think. Because like you, me, Myron, Fresh, we chill in Miami. We don't really do any Miami. We don't go clubbing. Maybe Fresh. We don't go. You and I don't never go to the beach. Like we never do anything Miami. So what's the point? Like we're on a computer in Miami paying 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 for rent, and you don't even stay there. You travel and pay that rent. If I were you, I'd follow the Tate Bros and just set up a headquarters. These streamers follow you everywhere. They're gonna follow you to Europe. If I were you, I'd pick a place where one, you get rich if you don't try, and two, if you're trying, you get 10 times richer than Miami Sneeko. I mean, how many comments have you had for years saying, come to Europe, it's better, it's cheaper, and you and I always ignored them? I thought it would be cheaper. I didn't think it would be 85% cheaper. Like, I can't believe, bro, at the restaurant, when I tip them 50 euros, they start screaming, oh my God. Oh, and I'm like, bro, I tipped $300 in Miami and I hate the service. And yeah, I think, well, I don't even get why I spent so much time in US. It makes no sense for me.
I'm always of the belief that instead of saving money, you should just always make more. And I've also never made money being lazy. Like all the money that I've made is when I'm working really hard.
Nico, check this out. If you were working in Europe for a year, that's not really saving because you'd be working, right? Just tell us the figure. How much in a year, if you spent January till December in Europe, living how you lived in Bosnia or whatever, and when you wanted to collab, you'd fly people in or you go to New York, see Fuzi and come back. We're not talking like saving 10,000 a month. We're talking like millions of dollars for you.
No, it's not millions of dollars of expenses. If I do it, it wouldn't be to save like 50K a year. I would do it because of the culture and to be around the Muslims in Bosnia, to get away from like the distractions. The hardest thing being back here, and I knew this was going to happen, I was like straight up on Dean mode, like all that whole trip. Being around here, around the women in Miami is just like, it was my birthday on Saturday too, and people were telling me to go out, and I'm just like, I just wanted to, I've been good, I've been halal. That's the main reason I want to leave, is just to get away from the temptations and
yeah, you said it best when it's like, if you stay in US, you end up becoming phase lazy.
Did I say that?
You said something like you were thinking about returning US and you saw a clip of them doing something and you're like, what was the clip?
I don't know. So they were gooning or something or twerking and just they were doing something but I was in Saudi Arabia. I opened my phone for 3 seconds and I just see the shit they're doing. I'm like, this is what I'm flying back home to be a part of. I like being away from that influence, and I get better ideas in that. But why have you not, like, you've been there for a while. Why have you not done any content?
Uh, well, one, I'm with my dad, right?
Yeah.
That's not an excuse. Um, no, really, it's in 2 days I'm gonna get a PC, and I don't know if you know this, not bragging, you can Google to see if this is true. There was a time in my life where I was doing 2 years straight, talking at this pace and screaming 18 hours a day, more hours than XQC, nonstop. And when I pulled away from all that, everything was better. Cloud, money, the whole career checklist got higher. So now I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna work on projects. You know how you say projects is not really more, it's not really a business for you. For me, it is. Like DateIQ, we're gonna revamp it. I'm also coming out with a book, and the book is what I'm passionate about, how the mind works.
Yeah.
And there's this sense of calm I have here where I can actually, like, what have I done this whole time that I've not been working? I'm almost finished everything. Like all I have to do, all I've done is organize everything, and I'm gonna go from Paracelsus and Plato, and I'm gonna look at all the intellectuals just so the non-Christians come to our side. They go, oh, there's non-Christian arguments too, and the Christian arguments, and then I'm gonna break down like, as so much bad stuff happened this year, but this is the best year of my life. Like when you saw me or my brothers or everyone's like, damn, since January, you're like on your shit. I'm really on my shit. And I feel even more on my shit in EU. I'm so organized, I'm so ready. When I turn on this work mode, this is gonna be I might not see you guys for a while, dude. I might just pump out like Amazon bestseller books. And my community, this is the first time that my community is saying enough girl stuff, right? Enough. We like this psychology stuff better. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, this is perfect.
I've
I
been
get
trying
I get to
to.
have a
You
yeah.
did tell me that to start reading more. I've been reading a lot more, but mostly books about Islam and about universalism and about the politics of it and how it relates to science. And this, I read 3 books, but I was trying to take.
Zico.
Hold on. I was trying to get more into Jung and try to get more into psychology because I read 3 religion books pretty quickly. Um,
Now,
yeah.
Zico, the fastest way for you to learn, I know what your mind is like, it's so relatable. Everything you've done wrong. You have a podcast, you should have a podcast, whether it's this one or your own, like I'm gonna bring one, where you bring high value guests, not homies, not convient, high value guests, one by one. You have a Buddhist on, you have a monk on, you have a Satanist on, you talk to all of them, you refute their claims, you do this, but your next cycle is to become you're literally already in the space for 10 years. Your next cycle is to become the next Joe Rogan. You should be having high value guests that sometimes you even have to pay for. And that's what we want to see. I'm going to also have this. My podcast, I'm going to do a solo podcast where I just talk to new, because I do really good with new people, new people, new people, every single religion, every single mythology, every single psychologist, a Jungian analyst. I'm going to have them on, and my content's going to be a lot more mature because those are my favorite topics. And my community finally copied me. Like at first, it was like 40% of them. Now the rest of them are saying like, "Yo, I like the dating stuff, but stick on how positive thinking or how neutral thinking is more effective than positive thinking." And yeah, I want to like step it up, bro. I want to like go to the
What do you
next level.
mean? What do you mean positive thinking and how neutral thinking? What is that?
Well, how everyone makes these books and these podcasts on positive thinking, and man goes mad trying to stay positive when he's not, because you have this unconscious drive to do stuff. You're autonomous most of the day. You're not conscious most of the day. You don't know. I got to go to the gym, but you don't know why. You have to stoicism that you like. Neutral thinking always evolves into positive, but positive thinking, if you're faking it, it just builds a larger shadow towards it.
Hmm.
So I want to get into these topics. And the greatest part about being in Europe is, have you noticed, not to be cocky, guys, most of my best content is alone. I went through my whole list, and it's like, yeah, it's funny with other people, but when
I
when I
disagree.
want to get paid, when I want a high viewer count, when I want to get paid, it's always alone.
Nah,
It's all
your best content is with
or
Sneeko. That's not even close.
well, I already have this podcast,
Yeah.
but I'm saying, think of me with some, let's say, doctor or some psychologist that's kind of like a little well known. Me and that guy will have better clips. than me and some famous YouTuber, I will never go back to the whole collabing with people just because they have a large platform. Bro, if you can't talk about the topics we talk about in my community, you're useless to me. And in Europe, that's all I do. I'm on that. When I'm in Miami for 1 second, I go, wouldn't it be funny if a stripper got yelled at for 4 hours on my YouTube? Is that what the fuck?
It's a giant. You be going 8 hours. It sounds like an exaggeration. But I like what you said about neutral thinking and positive thinking. You're saying positive thinking ignores you're going to develop a shadow because you're pretending to be optimistic and that everything is flowers and sunshine. Is neutral thinking acknowledging your shadow? What's the difference between neutral and positive?
No, neutral thinking would be nothing is good, nothing is bad. So if Arab says, Sneeko, come with me to this location, you don't internalize it as, is this good for my career or is it bad? You just go along because he's a homie. And whether the event is bad or good, you don't do the Sneeko thing. This place sucks. Because, bro, I'm telling you, you're developing this I need to be stimulated mindset, and your chatters are going to pick up on it. Then your viewer count can't go up because they go, oh, Sneeko's not stimulated today. You know, you need to evolve your mind, Sneeko. To say it nicely.
Well,
Like Sneeko, is it stupid to tell you there's a host of those shows, Gaia TV?
no.
Okay, do you know these TV channels that talk about Anunnaki?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I forget the black guy. Is it Carson or something? Chat, remind me. But wouldn't it be better if Sneeko interviewed these people instead of Convi? Like, dude, you're literally wasting so much time. If I was Sneeko and I could just, and I can, I didn't know I had the power. I could just email anyone. Most people come on. Most people are for promoting their book or whatever they got to new audiences. Bro, Sneeko, stick to the topics we love. You started off in this red pill shit with this attacking the satanic agenda and stuff like that. Why does Joe Rogan have these big guests, but we get Convi and Sneeko?
Okay, how are you
Or
saying that you want that I should elevate my mind, but you're saying to play the greatest hits over and over again?
what do you mean greatest hits? What is that?
You're saying we want to see Red Pill rage nonstop. If it has to evolve, then it has to be
No,
something new.
I'm saying, what are you gaining from platforming people who are just YouTubers? Like, what I don't even get. You're not. You sit there like I'm bored. The chat sits there like they're bored. Why don't you go after these guys who talk about Anunnaki and are on TV and they go on Boomer Broke Nigga podcast? You should be after that. It's like, let's say if I was chat, let's say I was the Jewish manager, I would feed Sneeko 10 high value guests. He would see his whole chat say this is the best content ever. They don't ask for Convi right now. They don't even ask for me unless I'm talking about the topics they like. I'm saying, bro, it's time to evolve, and you only evolve by cutting yourself, get away from, like, go visit these people, but what did you prove going with Fuzi and blah, blah, blah? Bro, these people are, Fuzi's bringing the girls around. He's not even doing the Fuzi thing. Everyone is, if I go to Miami, I feel like I also go to the girls thing for a bit, and it's such a waste of time. If I were you, pick a location where you can live like Tate, get the castle for cheap, then you can have the supercars or whatever toys you like or whatever. Then you realize you're bored of those toys, so you just want content all day. You find a station, get rich as hell, and have high value guests. Because, bro, Sneeko of last year is way dumber than Sneeko of this year. You're evolving into better content. You might as well start. I think you should just grab a manager who tells you this guest, or if are you, just copy Joe Rogan. You don't need a manager, just copy Joe Rogan. Take his guests, because bro, if you want,
I think you're really overstating Joe Rogan's high value guests. Like he does bring on some scientists here and there, but he's bringing a lot of.
He don't have Convi. He don't have.
He does
like
actually.
You.
He does. He does. He has a lot of mediocre comedians come on his show all the time.
He's a comedian.
To jerk off, yeah, he is. To jerk off about the art of stand. Yes, he is. To jerk off about the ideas of stand-up comedy. Yes, he is. If he's not a comedian, what is he?
Streamer.
Yeah, which is an art form of comedy. It's the same thing. Streaming is the same thing as stand-up comedy. It's like no different at all. Especially because most stand-up comedy is all crowd work now. It's all in the moment.
Fine. Sure, you're right. Let's say he's a comedian. He is. Doesn't that mean 80% of Joe Rogan's guests are still high value, minus those comedians? You don't have you. I feel like who did you have on that talks about the stuff? Get a scholar that talks about gyms and stuff. Get about follow these podcasts that evolve. Don't just be a YouTuber.
Okay. I was going to ask about Young and ask about how do you think I could elevate that without guests. What do you? I've been reading more Young. It's getting
Yeah,
repetitive.
the fastest way.
Young is getting
the
repetitive.
fastest
Young
way
is just like shadow self improve. It's a lot of like genetic. It's for me. It seems like a step down from Islam. It's saying have positive thinking, have a goal, create like make a difference. All this stuff. It all just seems
No,
like secondary to
you,
Islam.
Jung is saying man is mostly unconscious for most of his day. And until he can make that unconscious part of himself become conscious, it will direct his life and he will call it fate. That's what he's saying. It's a lot deeper than you think. And I'm
Wait,
not attacking.
explain that again. Explain that again.
Basically, if a man has man has this unconscious drive in him that pushes him to do stuff he doesn't understand why he does it, right? And you like to rationalize it, but no one can see behind them, no one can see the shadow. And until you make that part of yourself conscious, that part, that whatever's inside of you will push you to do things that you'll just say is fate, that the events that just happen. And it's scary to admit because then you have to admit that you're not controlling the wheel. You're not in control of the wheel. One day you'll wake up, I need to go to the gym because you don't know why, but you have to go to the gym, whether it's a positive or a negative thing. Maybe you blow off chilling with a friend and you ruin that friendship for the gym because of some deeper insecurity or whatever. But the whole thing that you get into here is deeper thinking, where it's like, wait a minute, I know Sneeko, but Sneeko don't know himself. Like what is behind Sneeko? What is behind Zherka? If you don't unravel this, you spiral out of control and yourself.
Okay, here's the most that I think I've ever applied like the Jungian philosophy was before I worked on Ye 24. And then he started going on these shows like Piers Morgan and he was talking and he was getting red pilled and then he started going down this path. I was watching his interviews and everything and it seemed like things were aligning and intrinsically I knew I'm going to end up working for you. Like I knew I was going to work for him. Like 2 weeks before it happened, I'm like, this is going to happen. How would Jung describe that?
Okay, can I attack Ye a bit?
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people would say that deeper part of himself, and like haters and liberals will say this, so I'm not saying they're correct, but I'm using this as an example. How much of his awakening was really political? I guess you can say no one's is political, it's all inner. Like you could say a lot of critics of Nick would say because he got fired from them that he became against it, or Gary would say because he hates monkeys and US is a monkey nation, he's a tiger, right? Or you hate US and you're a tiger, but the Jungian analyst approach would be, did Pete Davidson, and you know how we find out months later, him having whatever date night with Kim Kardashian, how much of that was an inner new energy in Kanye that made him more red pill on the JQ? Was it the unconscious drive of I have to get back at all of them because he's now dating her and da da da? Or is it more of something else? And I'm not saying that's the truth. I'm saying that's the example that you don't know what you do. If you knew what you did, you would never feel bad again. Nobody actually knows what's going on inside. That's why we reflect and do dream amplification and dream analysis. That's why you have to individuate. That doesn't mean become an individual.
What does
That
individuate?
means it means to go around your soul and see it from other angles. It means when you get angry, why did I get angry? Oh, the unconscious shadow part of me that got triggered is because I got cucked by that guy. It's not that he's a Democrat, he took my girl, or blah, 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 or whatever. But you need to start self reflecting and checking. This is what it is. With the more you self reflect, the better you are with the pen, and you can write the best book ever and make $100 million. This is what I study. And now, Sneeko, your whole channel is about being in control, like Andrew Tate. Bro, I'm just in control. And are you? Is that fat ass who eats chips all day in control? Is
No,
that beer drinker, that
he's not.
smoker? How about the guy who lost out on chilling with his whole family, Ali Dawa, just because of his book? Is he in control, or did that book possess him?
Bowden says, how do you stop yourself from mental on a task? And how can you know the difference between that and being conscious about tasks that should be routine?
I don't even get the question.
Yeah, I don't
What
get
does
the
that mean?
question either. I like the first part though. How do you stop the mental thing? Because when you go down the self improvement route,
Okay, here. Ali Dawa not talking to his family. Did he mentally so much? I don't want to use a different word, but whatever, something cleaner. But did he go too far where he cut out his family for his religion? Because if you think about it, the argument that I'll make for him is if you follow family before religion, your family can have blue hair and cut off. You should follow God first. But then the other point is he built his shadow so hard on memorizing his book that he lost out on 40 years of talking to his mother. So remember, Jung says, we don't have ideas, ideas have us. Did Ali Dawa do something good or bad? And I'm not attacking his character. We all go through this. I'm saying, what do you Sneeko think?
what do you mean that we don't have ideas? Ideas? How can an idea possess a person?
Well, is it bad that Ali Dawa abandoned his family
I don't know if he
for his
abandoned his
book?
family.
Well, it ruined his relationship.
Yeah, I mean, his belief was so important that he had to. It even says that in Islam that your love for Islam supersedes the love for your family.
Oh, in the Bible, it says, you cut your parents out if they're not. Yeah, I get that. I get the argument. I'm saying personally, not your book. Do you think he went too far? Would you ever do that?
Cut off my family because of my faith?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, perhaps.
you're just a liar. I can't even imagine that.
I think so. But I think I would. What would happen was that they would probably cut it off, and then I would just be able to convince them, and they would come over to my side.
And that's probably what happened to him. I'm not saying he cut it off. Maybe they got angry that he was going too extreme. I think that's what really happened. But also, it's like you can't have too much of a good thing, right? The human perverts anything good, even good. That's why they kill each other over, I believe this surah and you believe that, or I believe this verse and you believe that. And it's like, you got to know what you're building here. You're becoming a way more radical, right? Because you're just now in attack mode with Catholics.
I'm not on
Eventually,
attack mode.
I'm not saying you're going to cut out your family, but you got to know where your shadows. If Sneako's walking this way, something else is walking that way. There's a reflection of Sneeko. And you got to know where that guy's dog walking you because the unconscious is way bigger than the conscious mind. You don't even do anything conscious.
So,
Nothing.
what do you mean? I'm getting. How could you be dog walked while you're unconscious?
If you feel fear, you're going to want an army as a streamer. That's probably the narrative that plays out when someone becomes a religious streamer. That they probably feel a little fear. They want power, which is fine. We find power in God. That's great. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Catholic channel or a Muslim channel doesn't have human thoughts of I want an army defending me no matter what. Those are human perverted thoughts, just human of the flesh. And we have to know that those are unconscious thoughts. That's not us, right?
How do you
The
fix?
true us isn't that. The true us is not that afraid. The true us knows God is real. It's this shadow world
Yeah.
illusion self we have that I'm wondering. I feel afraid. I mean, people can attack me online, and you know what? I'm going to build an army here, and that's all unconscious thought. That's you.
We have that idea in Islam called fitra, that the natural baby, everything purity believes in God, and then everything else in the world corrupts you and brings you away from God slowly. But there's
Yep.
the idea that everybody has morality. Like when you're 5 years old, you know not to punch your sister, you know not to steal, or you know not to be to be generous and kind and to smile. Those things of goodness. That's all. That's all fitra and natural. But then
No,
you
you
get pulled
don't.
away.
You don't know at 5 years old to not punch your sister. You're born in a fallen state.
Well, even
You'll
if
punch
you
what's
do
true.
punch your sister, then you see her cry, and then you realize, oh, I don't want to make my sister feel bad, and you stop.
What if I told you Sneeko on a New York subway fantasizes about grabbing a woman uncontrollably, but he was taught to do otherwise because there's a penalty for that action? What if I told you you were born in a sinful, fallen state that you want to let? Would you
No,
accept it? truth? What is that unconscious drive that makes you want to, hey, the cops don't exist? I'm here. That's what you would do, just like all men on earth, if you were not taught otherwise. Christianity got it right. We're in a fallen state, nigga.
Okay, so if you weren't baptized, you would grab a woman on the subway?
You would first. That's
Okay, that's not
the
true.
point.
That's not true.
Oh, really? You just do
People,
it when she lets you? So, Sneeko, why do you do it when she lets you?
because she likes it.
Because you like it.
No,
Love
I'm not a psychopath. I wouldn't I wouldn't like seeing a woman unhappy, like
So
violent.
you do this because she enjoys it?
Yeah, that's the enjoyment is mutual.
Oh, now it's mutual. I thought it was for her.
Well, it's both. I like it, but I like it more because she likes it. But I would not like it if she's crying and she's violated. No.
I didn't say you're. I said the only reason you don't do it is because you were taught otherwise through a Christian system.
Okay, then how come if you punch your sister when you're growing up and you see her cry, you stop and you feel bad? That natural state of fitra.
Because the Holy Spirit dwells within. We have conscience, but we have to be taught. We have to be taught to listen to our conscience.
Okay, that's different than Christianity saving you.
This is so easy.
You just said it was natural. You just said the Holy Spirit is within you. That's what fitra is.
Okay, I'll just say this, bro. Nat is natural. Sorry, it is. Look at people on a stranded island. What are they doing? Playing tic-tac-toe? Come here.
Yeah, but on an island, she's not going to be like, oh, I consent, I don't consent. They need to reproduce.
Oh, yeah, that's what she's going to say with a big black guy.
You think she's going to be running away saying no?
Bro, you think off the airplane crash, she's going to be like, time to repopulate?
Yeah, not immediately. What type of... No guy's going to immediately just grab the... When the plane is crashing and the family's dead, you think this first thought is...
I'm saying when they're starving on an island, humans are born in a fallen state. They need Christ. Yeah.
Okay.
This is so easy with you, bro. The channel got to post this. I don't care if it makes Sequel look bad. It makes his money go up.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying without Christianity, everybody...
Well, think of the psychic system that's implemented, right? Do unto others how you would. These are systems that we grew up with, that even if you're not a Christian, you just know it because it's passed on and we're trained, right? So yeah, we have to be trained. We have, just like worship has to be taught. Do you believe that? Or can you just pick up a book and do it yourself? No, there's teachers, bro. And yeah, God appoints leaders.
Yeah, I mean, worship is the things you need to learn, but there's a natural state where people know good from bad intrinsically.
Okay, so I can just really, okay, I believe that. I don't believe that it's so overwhelming that most kids are good. I think most kids are evil, actually.
You think most kids are evil?
I mean, leave them to their own vices, and they're going to beat the shit out of the small kid on the playground for a Sonic the Hedgehog toy. Yes, Sneeko, you're learning.
Yeah, in group settings, kids get evil without guidance, but I think kids alone, without corruption, you're agreeing with me. You're saying that they get corrupted by society, and there are things.
You read Lord of the Flies, and no,
exactly.
Not by society.
I'm agreeing. Lord of the Flies is society.
Okay,
Lord of the Flies is society.
Okay, then why a mother can tell the individuality of her child at 2 years old that they have certain gestures and stuff like that? Because we come to Earth with preset conditions. Some kids are more energetic, which can, make them commit more crime later. They should be channeled in sports or something that they want to do.
That's true, but energetic and you can't equate that to morality. Those are different. Like I was a naturally energetic kid. Doesn't mean that
Sneeko, what if I told you? What if I told you that there's an aesthetic to morality? Nietzsche said this.
What does that mean?
That you in your bones. This is not Christian. I'm just saying, making it good podcast, right? When you stomp on a cockroach, you and children and women kind of rejoice and are grossed out of that cockroach. But a good-looking butterfly that has that aesthetic appeal towards beauty, that you spare that. That humans intrinsically give morality and aesthetic. Have you ever heard of that?
Wasn't Nietzsche like a
You are
serial?
watching the GodPill podcast and blow Sneako's mind.
Okay, wasn't Nietzsche
What do you think of that?
and these philosophers like Sartre, like they kind of acted like destiny. They were atheists, right? And they have open relationships.
He
And
lost his mind at the end. Well, they weren't destiny, but he did lose his mind. He didn't have a wife and kids and all that. But I'm saying, do you believe that's correct? That you intrinsically value a butterfly's life for some weird reason, or a dog versus a rat? Like, what is up with that? It's almost like beauty is something important to creation. It's almost like you shouldn't have mixed kids because 99% of them don't look like Sneeko, Nike models. They look like no.
That's not true. Most mixed people look good, but you don't talk about species and race are not the same thing. Like you're trying to talk about monkeys and butterflies and dogs to race.
It's an argument. Yeah. No, but Sneeko, do you get the butterfly thing? Does it make sense?
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I think there's a hierarchy event. Like I think a human's life is more important than a rat's life, but I don't know many people that would value the life of a butterfly over the life of a dog. Is that what you just said?
A dog versus a rat?
Yeah, a dog's life is more valuable than a rat's life.
Why?
Because rats are disgusting and I don't like them. Well, they're dirty. They're dirty. They're filthy. And also like, yeah, because I like dogs more.
I'm sure any disease a rat can carry, I'm sure a squirrel can carry it just as well.
Yeah, squirrels and rats are equivalent.
And if a squirrel can carry the disease of a rat, then that goes to the logical thinking of we hate rats, but we don't know why, because we welcome squirrels into our house. And it's similar to that we don't know why we're repulsed by them. We don't know why we hate them, but they're certainly there.
I love
You know where that's from?
What?
You're not called. You've never watched Inglourious Bastard?
Yeah, I have. Many times, actually.
Yeah, no, you haven't.
Yes, I have. Oh my God, I can do the voice. It's like, you're hiding under the floorboards. Yes. And then the cream. Oh, okay. Yes, yeah, I've seen the thing. That's a bingo.
Did anyone want to?
That's a bingo.
Chat, did you guys get where I'm going with this? Because it flew over Sneako's head.
No, my mom was calling, and so I zoned out while you were like casting. Sometimes when you speak, it sounds like you're casting a black magic spell.